Welcome back, welcome back. Described as one of Ireland's finest female singers, my next guest has been playing to packed houses in London's West End for the past month, following on from sellout appearances in the United States, in Canada, and in Australia, including that magnificent Sydney Opera House. But Camille O'Sullivan is more than just a talented singer. She also acts in films and on stage, and before all that, she was an architect and an artist as well. Before we meet her, let's see her in action and get a feel of the emotion that she puts into her performance, which has marked her out really as such a special talent. Here it is.
Oh, no, love, you're not alone. No matter what or who you've been, no matter where you've seen, all the knives that still lacerate your brain, I've had my share. I'll help you with the pain. You're not alone.
There it is, dynamic stuff. No one goes to sleep while I'm on.
I'm exhausted after seeing
the motto of that. That was a David Bowie
That was a David
number.
Bowie, yeah. I kind of sing all the music that I kind of grew up with through my parents and I fell in love with. So a particular love of that album, Ziggy Stardust, so Rock and Roll Suicide, but the likes of Jacques Brel, Nick Cave and Tom Waits. So it's all about kind of storytelling and, as you said, getting into the emotion and inhabiting a song.
Absolutely. Daily Telegraph, serious journal, describes your performance as, when she sings, it's as though her breath is soaked in paraffin. One spark and the whole room would ignite. Is that true?
Well, it's a lovely thing to be said.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Well, I'd say it's explosive, whatever is going to happen on stage.
Yes.
So I think he is a beautiful way of kind of, describing how I sing. And I think, it's always a pleasure when people come and say something nice like that about you.
And you said on one occasion, on stage, I become a completely different creature and do things I'm not even really aware of myself.
Yeah,
You do?
I do. I would find it very hard. We had seen that clip, or recently, I would never really look at what I do on stage because I think I have more of a reserve in my own life. And I kind of think you have to abandon yourself when you go on stage. You have to give it everything. So somebody recently said to me, oh, we saw you on the Jules Holland show, and said, we love the way you ended it with your legs in the air and your sparkly shoes. And I was like, what? So I think I'd start thinking twice about what I was doing on stage.
Yeah.
And I think in a way the whole kind of joy of it is kind of going through, singing is one of those things that, for me, can really kind of lose myself in it. And an audience, hopefully, they'll go on that journey too.
Do you have stage fright before a performance?
Yeah,
You
I do. I'm atrocious. Yeah, everybody
Are you
laughs.
superstitious? Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything. Putting on nail varnish first, then eye makeup, lipstick. Not doing things in a certain order, not going down stage till a certain time, and it's crazy, but I think a lot of performers might, have those kind of quirky things going on.
And then today, just before this interview, you took your nail varnish off.
I knew, because I was like a little alley cat. The lovely lady who did the makeup here was laughing because I had two-tone black on one hand and red on another, and it was all chipped. But I kind of enjoy that whole thing. Like, I'm kind of well presented today, but what I love in the show, especially as a woman, that you present one side of yourself which you started off quite enigmatically, and that you have a veil and you're quite dignified, and then you are rolling on the floor, stamping your feet like a child, or becoming vulnerable, or by the end it's usually makeup running down my face, my nails are chipped. So I like this thing of certain disintegration. So you show yourself as something that can be seen as kind of perfection and then completely imperfect. And I think a lot of women kind of enjoy that. They said, we love that madness, or that you kind of laugh at yourself, laugh at your own, trying to look sexy and then not at all,
And it doesn't sound like an architect talking, does it? I mean, you were an architect for 3 or 4 years, weren't
Yeah,
you?
I was, yeah, and I would have taught in university also, and kind of headed design with a lot of kind of the main companies back at home. I mean, the joke is that they'll offer me a job if I wear what I wear on stage and come back. But that seems like a lifetime away, but then it's extraordinary. You end up playing in places like the Sydney Opera House where, you know, we would have studied it, and you kind of go, that's surreal that you're actually, working in this building.
So what was the transition from architect to singer and actress and so on? It all came about at a time when you'd had a bad accident and you were starting a new life, were you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that whole thing about the nerves, it took a long time for me to have the confidence to go on stage. I kind of thought, who would want to see me up there singing? And I kind of felt, after my parents putting me through university, I better, and I loved it and I wanted to follow it through. I had this yearning to kind of, a childlike dream to still perform, even though I was scared of audiences. But I couldn't get over that hurdle, that obstacle. I think a lot of people, start putting things in their way, saying, "Oh, I'll wait when I have money, or I'll do it then." And I had this car accident, and that really forced the issue very quickly.
And you, the first time or so that you appeared after the accident and so on, you were on crutches.
Yeah, I was in crutches, and the doctors who had operated on me, because I had operations on my pelvis and stuff, happened to be at the gig, and I was up on a table on the crutches, and they were like, "This one is a live wire," where there's no holding her back, and I keep in touch with them. And I mean, it was a real, a turning point.
Because it had been, you said somewhere, touch and go, in fact, the accident.
Yeah, it had been, and the thing is, because all the where I was injured, you can't really see. It was kind of internal. That I had a year to learn how to walk again and use my hands again. So it was that kind of brought up the question of art and architecture. Could I do that again? So a lot of things that I kind of questioned. And what was kind of interesting, maybe because I was on a heavy dose of morphine when I was in hospital, but I had the most amazing dreams of just the most simplest things of, like, tell people who you love that you love them, and go out and enjoy the world and look at the flowers. And it's a very simple thing. It sounds kind of maybe a bit hippyish or something, but it really was kind of like, that's how basic it was. And then when I started getting back into life, because performing is wonderful, but it's very insecure and unstable in its own way, and you lead this mad little gypsy lifestyle, that I just kind of clung on to that thing of, like, this is amazing, if just do what you want to do.
Thank you very much for being with us. It's been a delight, and good luck. May there be lots more songs, lots more theatres, and no more accidents.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Can Yemen be saved? Find out after this break.